Hi, my name is Deetra Clark, and I am a clinical psychotherapist by trade and also a regenerative health practitioner. And that's just fancy wording for saying helping people to get to the root cause. In regenerative health, we believe that everything in the body can be regenerated when you give it the right environment. Our bodies are designed to thrive and to work optimally, and the quality of our food directly impacts the quality of our life. And today, I want to talk a little bit about children's health. I want to talk about the rate of dis-ease that our children are facing, and the staggering amounts of things that are stacked up against them that we can prevent. And the things that we can't prevent, there are things that we can do to intervene. And so I mean for this video to be an encouragement to you, a resource for education as you, the parent or the grandparent, or just someone, a relative of maybe someone you love, that is a child, to support them in getting their bodies to function optimally. So I want to start with some statistics. Our generation is the first generation of children predicted to not outlive their parents. And that is due to fast farming practices. It's due to glyphosate, which is a chemical pesticide. It's the main ingredient in Roundup. It's actually patented as an oral antibiotic, which means against life. And it is sprayed on all of our crops. It's in our water. It is in the air that we breathe. You can get it from touching a doorknob or a light switch, and we're inundated with it. And we began spraying this on our crops in 1980, just before 1980. And so that means I have not known a world without glyphosate exposure. My children certainly have not known a world without glyphosate exposure, but it is responsible for the staggering rates of disease that we're seeing. And I wanted to share, I'm a woman of faith, and Jeremiah 29:11 tells us that the Lord knows the plans that he has for us. They are to prosper us and not to harm us, and to give us a hope in a future. And his design for us is that we would be in good health as our soul prospers, that we would live not a life without challenge, but that we would live a life where our bodies thrive and allow us to do the things that he's called us to do. And we see in Genesis 1:29 where the Lord left us the plants and the herbs to really support our bodies. But a lot of the food that our children are eating it's not really food. It's actually processed and genetically modified. It's full of toxins and heavy metals and chemicals. And because of that, we are seeing that our children are cellularly depleted. We are seeing that they are overfed but undernourished. That's why you can give your child a snack, and 10 minutes later, the child is back in the kitchen asking you for something else. It's because that food was lacking in nutrients. And we are a very macro-focused society. So we focus a lot on calories, but we really miss focusing on phyto and micronutrients, which is really where our bodies get their cellular ATP. It's where our bodies can regenerate and where they are fed and nourished optimally. So here are some statistics for you. And I would love if you would make some notes of this and share this video with anyone who you know would benefit from it. So in 1980, 1 in 6,000 children was diagnosed with autism. Now, the rate is 1 in 36. So in just 40 short years, we have seen that rate skyrocket. And I mentioned in my introduction that I'm a clinical psychotherapist by trade. So when I graduated from college, the rate at which I diagnosed autism, Asperger's, or what we now call spectrum disorder, was not as common as what we're seeing now. It's more common in males, and it's also higher in African American children. Also, some other common diseases that our children are facing: ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, asthma, juvenile diabetes, cancer, and leukemia. From 2001 to 2009, we had a 23% increase in the diagnosis of juvenile diabetes. From 2009 to 2020, there was a 27% increase. So we see that dis-ease across the board is on the rise. And this is due to lifestyle. It's due to food. It's also due to lack of education. And it's also due to the health of the mother in pregnancy, because the mother passes the microbiome to her child. So the gut health of mom is passed on to baby. So if mom doesn't eat well, if mom is not living a life that's alkaline or on the side of detoxification, she passes that health on to her child. And that is not a shaming. I did not know this. Years ago, I have 4 kids, 18, 14, 9, and 6. And I just began learning about this just 3 short years ago. And so it's not enough anymore for us to just feed our children organic foods. We really have to look at the farming practices. We have to look at regenerative agriculture, but also really helping our children to make intuitive, wise health choices. So asthma is the leading cause of children missing school and hospitalizations, and more than 3 million children have asthma. And this is related to diet, and it's related to environmental factors. Environmental factors are what they're breathing in the air. It's what's sprayed. It is what we put on our skin. So lotions and deodorants and perfumes and candles and all of those things are neurotransmitter endocrine disruptors. And so we really have to pay attention not only to what we ingest, but also what we're putting on externally. Black children have a disproportionate rate of asthma. 1 in 4 kids have allergies. 1 in 3 American children have diabetes. And autoimmune disease is currently 15 to 30 million people are diagnosed with that. And that includes our children. So that's a rise from 3 to 7% per year. What autoimmune looks like is lupus, celiac, MS, skin disorders, IBS, Crohn's, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis. And I know that we're hearing a lot and we're seeing a lot of marketing around gluten-free. And actually, the problem is not the gluten, it is the glyphosate. And so it's really important as parents and as those who love children to be educated on this fact. So some suggestions that I have. One is to be aware about what we're putting into our body, the 2 different sides of chemistry that we have where food is concerned. There are 2 sides of chemistry. There's alkaline and there is acidic. So foods that are alkaline are things that really are found in nature, like our fruits and our vegetables, things that are grown in the ground, things that nourish our body at the cellular level. I eat a ton of fruits and vegetables. We feed a lot of fruits and vegetables to our kids. We eat 100% organically, avoiding conventional farming, because when you are eating conventional foods, you are increasing the amount of glyphosate that you're putting into your body. And then we also nourish with organic, regeneratively grown superfoods, because superfoods are the highest vibrational foods on the face of the planet. So it's really important to pay attention to what you're nourishing with. Also, the other thing that I think is really valuable for families when they're wanting to support their child's immune system, support their child's gut health, which is huge because 9 signals in our body come from our gut up to our brain. And in Western medicine, we describe the gut as the second brain, but really the gut is the first brain. It supports our emotional function. It supports our immune health. It tells the brain to release more serotonin, more dopamine. Children who have difficulty sleeping, it's because their body is not making enough melatonin. We wouldn't want to supplement with melatonin because what you take, your body won't make. It's really a gut damage issue that the gut is not communicating to the brain that more melatonin is needed. When we have children that are constantly getting colds and ear infections, things like that, that's a breakdown in the gut, because 70% of a child and ours as adults, our immune health is made in our gut. So it's really, really important that we are nourishing our body, that we are treating our body to get it to a state of alkalinity and away from acidity, and that we are nourishing at the cellular level, and that we are getting rid of parasites, which brings me to my next point. In every other country, they are aware of parasites and the importance of doing parasite cleanses, not only once a year, sometimes twice a year, 3 times a year. In the United States, this is not a common practice, but most everybody should be doing a parasite cleanse minimally 2 times a year, because parasites really wreak havoc on the body. They are responsible for pains. They're responsible for irritability and cravings. So sugar and carbs and things like that. They're responsible for itching and skin issues and ringworms. And wherever there are parasites, you will see a lack of ease in the body. That's why we call it dis-ease, because dis-ease has its base in inflammation, in gut damage, and in usually high parasite or parasitic kingdom, as we call it, activity. So it's important to detox our children from parasites, to kill them off. And so I have some suggestions for things that I can recommend for a parasite detox that are safe for kids, but it's important to do it in 2 phases because parasites lay eggs. So first you kill off the parasites, and then you want to kill off the eggs that parasites lay. So children that bite their nails, children that are constantly scratching their skins, our children play in the dirt. You can get parasites from hugging other people. You get them from surfaces. You get them from meats. If you've gone camping, if you've walked outside barefoot, all of these are entryways to parasite, which speaks to pretty much every single person has parasites. And so I recommend doing a parasite cleanse for your child. One of my favorite parasite herbal tinctures is from a company called BioRay. And there are a few different ones I recommend, and I'm happy to curate a protocol. I also love our parasite cleanse with Purium. These are both organic, wild crafted herbal detoxification and ways of killing off parasites. You have to be really careful with what you put in your body. Not everything that's marketed as a parasite cleanse is good for the body, and most things are actually isolated. And so what that means is that it is made in a lab and your body can't actually utilize it. So we want to focus on things that nourish the body and that rid the body of what's no longer serving it. We don't want to add in what can create damage. So I say it's never too late to start working on your kids' health, whether they're 6 months or whether they are on their way out of your house. Our bodies are really designed to thrive. And so it's an intentional journey that we're taking every day. We have to choose it. Many years ago, I think health just happened for people. People ate differently. People ate well. People ate to nourish their body. Now we have to choose health, and we have to be very intentional. And that starts with our children. It starts with educating them, teaching them, and really being gatekeepers for what we allow in our homes. So things like cereal, Pop-Tarts, chips, kind of those empty calories, really the craving for that is parasitic in nature. It's parasites that crave those things, but also those foods carry a high amount of glyphosate. So cornflakes and General Mills cereal, Quaker Oats oatmeal, things like that, Oreos, Doritos that have artificial food coloring. Those things are actually very damaging to the child's gut, but also they allow more of the parasitic kingdom to build up. So I think that's enough for today. This is just a brief overview. If you would like more information on anything at all that I've shared, please reach out to me or the person that shared this video with you. We would love to support you with resources, curate a protocol for you or for your child, and really support your child to thriving optimally. One of the most common things that I saw in working with children as a therapist is the inability to regulate emotion and to focus. And that many times was due to diet, to artificial food coloring, flavoring, too much sugar, too many acids in the diet, and the child's body just can't sustain that way. So I would love to support you in any way. Don't be afraid to reach out. Thank you for watching this video, and it's an honor to partner with you as you move your family into really thriving in their health.